Is business a walk in the park for you? If so, then this episode is not for you. Despite being around for about 8 years, I don't think owning a business is easy. It's fun, it's challenging, it's heartbreaking, it's uplifting. But something I do love about being in business is the people you get to connect with and learn from. That's why this episode is all about ideas to help you embrace this crazy business journey. I touch on overcoming imposter syndrome, the power of community, and embracing your true self. This episode is from my heart to yours, encouraging you to create confident, meaningful moments in your business. Welcome to the Powerful Content Podcast, your go-to source for content creation, strategy, and business inspiration. I'm your host, Mel Daniels, content strategist, coach and speaker, empowering women across the globe to grow their business with powerful content that connects, nurtures, and converts. So if you're ready to create standout content that gets you noticed and remembered, or build an aligned audience who love you and are ready to buy from you, you're in the right place. I believe that content has the power to connect us all. It's up to you how you use it. Listen in for genuine and insightful chats with guests, as well as practical tools and strategies from me. It's so lovely to have you here. Let's dive into the show. I acknowledge the Wongal people of the Eora Nation as the traditional custodians of the country that I am recording from today. I recognise their continuing connection to the land and waters. I pay my respects to elders past and present and extend that respect to all First Nation people listening today. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to episode 122 of the Powerful Content Podcast. Thank you. Thank you so much for choosing to be here today and for choosing to celebrate with me, because this week marks Meld Business Services' 8th birthday. I often forget that it's my birthday and forget to celebrate it. So this year I've decided to dedicate a whole podcast episode to sharing some of the lessons that I've learned along the way, in the hopes that it will help you make a decision or change something that you're doing in your own business. So I don't know whether you know, but 8 years ago, Meld Business Services wasn't focused on content strategy and creation. I was a virtual assistant, and my business remained focused on virtual assistants for the first 4 years of its existence. I've tried plenty of different services and packages throughout the years, and in 2020, right when the pandemic hit, I switched my focus. I clearly remember the chain of events at the time. I had made the decision to switch in late 2019, which meant letting go of a big retainer client, which was really quite scary. Then we took a family holiday to the beach over the new year, and I decided to do a 5-day challenge with a business coach whilst I was away. I absolutely love summer holidays for planning and inspiration, and just had to join the challenge at the time. I ended up signing up with that coach. Then we saw a puppy online that we all fell in love with. I attended an in-person day with the new coach and mastermind group. Our puppy was bitten the same day, and we couldn't bring her home for another 2 weeks. The news of COVID in Australia hit, with the first case being recorded in the exact same hotel we stayed in just a few weeks earlier. We picked up our puppy and then went into lockdown, and all of a sudden I had a new business with no clients in the midst of puppy and COVID madness. Needless to say, it was a tricky period to navigate, but here I am, 8 years in, and loving the fact that I made the switch and had the courage to call myself a content strategist. So here are the 8 lessons that I've learnt along the way that I want to share with you today in no particular order. The first one is niching is not forever. Now, this is a saying that I heard fairly early on in my business life from the business coach Tash Corbin, and it stuck in my head throughout the years. My website, when I started in 2016 as a virtual assistant, had categories of things I could help you with. It included general admin, event management, accounts, personal admin, email marketing, and transcription, which is quite hilarious now given how easily tech can do this for us. But there were so many different offers, and I didn't have a clue at all who I was talking to, except I knew that they owned a business. I laugh at this now, but I didn't know then what a niche or an ideal client was. As you can probably imagine, I didn't gain too many clients from that first version of my website. Who would want to work with someone who could do everything and probably not all that well either? I think I eventually found my feet with email marketing as I knew a little bit about MailChimp. I did some templates for a couple of local businesses for free so that I could improve my skills and then use them as testimonials. But after hearing Tasha's comment about niching not being forever, I decided to give being a MailChimp specialist VA a go. And funnily enough, immediately saw the benefits. I then started understanding how content could be used from a holistic perspective and saw the opportunity to help others to be more strategic and efficient with their content as well. So this then saw a rebrand, a new website, my first business coach, which I previously mentioned, and the beginning of my personal brand specializing in content strategy. So a new niche. So the lesson learned here is that nothing stays the same forever. Please don't be afraid to try something different. And if it doesn't work out or you're not feeling it, you can always change things back. Now, my second lesson is to get help before you're ready. I wish I had have heard this piece of advice early on in my business years. I took on a MailChimp client as one of my first clients and was soon proving that I was invaluable to her and her business, so started taking over other parts of her business, such as accounts, and then doing work for her husband's business and his related entities, and soon realized that whilst I was earning good money, it was based on the hours I worked, and I was working a lot of them. When you're in the thick of the work and the stress that comes with it, it's really hard to make space to bring someone into the team. But I do want to say that over the past 8 years, I've been blessed with 3 beautiful women who have joined the Meld Business Services team at one point or another and who have 100% helped me grow my business. They have been skillful, proactive, dedicated, and probably the best support I could ever hope for. So the lesson here for you is to try and find your perfect match team member now and start small with them. Work with them just a couple of hours a week and learn each other's quirks and strengths. Then as your business grows, you'll be able to expand the time that you work together. My third lesson is you are worthy. Wow, this is a huge lesson to learn. And quite frankly, I'm probably still learning it to this very day. I heard someone recently say that when you need to pay for your child's school camp or singing lessons or soccer membership, you just do it, right? You do it without thinking. It's for their growth, their confidence, their physical or mental health, so you just go ahead and pay it. But if it's something for us, like a wellness treat, we tend to overthink it, we weigh up the cost, and in the end, likely don't even invest in it. So why is that? Imagine that something is actually for your business, like a coach, a website designer, or a conference. I can tell you now, the overthinking goes to the next level. The other side of this you're not worthy coin is income and pricing. So how many times have you sat in decision drama about pricing your new thing? I know I do it all the time. But something that's helped me is a saying from another business coach, Suze Chadwick, and that's not to live in your clients' wallets. Meaning don't try and guess what they will or won't pay for something. Price it the way you want to price it so that it feels good for you. So whether it's investing in something new for yourself or your business, or pricing a new service, accepting an opportunity, or putting yourself out there for something that feels a little stretchy, know that you are worthy. You are worthy of it, plus so much more. Number 4, it's a season. This is a big one as well. Whatever is happening in your life right now, it's a season. I've been through several seasons in my business where it hasn't taken the priority that I wanted it to, and I haven't been able to spend as much time as I wanted to on it. And it made me mad. I distinctly remember one day getting angry with Mr. Meld and breaking down and seeing how unfair it was that I had to spend so much time on this new puppy that we had and how much hard work she was, and how I really wanted to spend it on my business. The puppy was unwell and anxious, which meant hours at vets and surgeons, huge bills, sleepless nights, and days that were filled with helicopter parenting. It was at the time where I just switched to focusing on content strategy, and I felt like it was really unfair that I couldn't capitalize on this change because there was something else in my life that was taking so much of my time, energy, and resources. I see now that it was a season,
and there was a reason for it. So my lesson for you here is that whatever you're feeling right now about the time that you have available for your business, whether it's due to a new puppy, small children, aging parents, family commitments, whatever it is, know that it will pass. So instead of wishing things would be different, be present. Do the thing that you need to do and know that it'll change soon. Okay, so number 5 is be more you. You've probably heard me say this before, that when you're trying to be like someone else or someone you think you need to be, it's hard work. Content was very hard work for me in the beginning. I felt like I needed to be this well-presented, well-put-together person to be seen as successful and someone worth working with. Oh my goodness, that was such hard work. I was far from put together in the early years, and in fact, I still don't feel that put together. I tried so hard to be perfect that it really stopped me from doing so many things, like taking and posting a selfie. Oh my goodness, it took me forever to be able to do that. Like sharing content that I was afraid that wouldn't be liked, from saying yes to opportunities, from reaching out to others to collaborate, or even comment on a post in a Facebook group. Perhaps it's my age now, but I really don't care what people think about me anymore. That's not to say that I won't put on a bit of lippy before I take a selfie, but it does mean that I'll say what I feel needs to be said, even if it's not an overly popular opinion. You don't need to go out there and be controversial or start arguments on social media, but you do need to feel comfortable in who you are and what you stand for, especially when it comes to your content. So the lesson for you here is to embrace who you are and embrace that person right now. Don't wait. Number 6, everyone is going through something, and socials aren't real life. It took me a very long time to realize that what you see on social media is largely not reflective of real life. I have a belief that content has the power to connect us all. It's up to you how you use it. And when we use it in a way that's not reflective of what life is actually like, then it's not being used in a positive or powerful way. Now, this isn't to say that you need to bear all when it comes to your life. Far from it. I'm not expecting you to do that. You definitely need to have boundaries around what you're willing to share. But when you're purposely portraying a false persona or a false way of life, that's not healthy for you or your audience. So the lesson to learn here is that before you start comparing yourself to someone else that's presenting themselves a certain way online, know that their life isn't perfect, no matter what it looks like on social media. Okay, up to number 7, you can do the thing. We all have mindset gremlins that creep into our lives, but the biggest one I see in online business is around imposter syndrome. Oh my goodness, the dreaded imposter syndrome, that little voice inside your head that says you can't do it. So despite having a podcast with now 122 episodes, and despite having a published book, I still get that niggling voice that says to me, who are you to think you can do this? It's so easy for me to sit here and say, just ignore the voice. But sometimes I know that it's so loud that it's difficult to ignore. And I want you to know, though, that you can do the thing, whatever it is. You can go live on social media. You can present a masterclass. You can create a business that you love. You can be present for your family. Even if it doesn't go to plan, know that you gave it a go. I remember my very first webinar, I had a handful of people sign up, which I thought was kind of really exciting, but no one turned up live. I had no idea how the tech really worked. I had no idea to tell if people were live or they were commenting, but I did it. I'm almost puked afterwards, but I did it. I eventually went back to webinars as well. Admittedly, it did take me some time to recover from this, but I knew I could do the thing. And now I charge hundreds of dollars to present to a mastermind or membership online. So the lesson learned here is that imposter syndrome is real, but knowing that you can do hard things is the key to moving forward. And then number 8 is it's as much about the we as it is the me. So community and connection are 2 of my top 3 values. So I'm all for surrounding yourself with people who get it, who get you. But I honestly don't know where I'd be without the people who have supported me in the early years and have become my friends. I have such a huge circle of people that I'm grateful for in my life. People who check in when I've gone quiet, people who contact me just because, people who cheer me on from the sidelines. people who are willing to lift me up when I'm just not feeling it. One of my core beliefs is that we make a greater impact when we come together. That's why I love this podcast. I get to meet and connect with so many amazing humans and share their stories in the hope that it will help you or inspire you in some way. And it's also a reason why I love my membership, The Content Effect, for the support and encouragement that they give each other. It's also why I love collaborating with others, because we reach more people and spread more good in the world. So the lesson here is, if you're looking to amplify your message and those of others whose message you believe in, then start thinking about the we instead of the me. And here's a bonus number 9 lesson learnt. What it looks like now isn't necessarily how it will look in the future. So I've slipped in an extra lesson here for you because I think it's important to stay open and curious when it comes to your business. What you're doing now may change in the future, but if you've got your blinders on, you may miss those opportunities as they come your way. When I started my business 8 years ago, I couldn't see past the hourly rates and the admin. Fast forward 8 years and I have a suite of offers focused solely on content strategy and creation. Really different. And I contribute this adaptation to a number of things. Firstly, being courageous to finally lead into my strengths and the things that I love to do. Working with my dear friend, Eliza Ludwig from the Flow Society, who, through her thought-provoking questions and strategy, made me realize what I wanted was a personal brand, not an agency in the long run. Investing in my first business coach, and the support and encouragement from my friends and family. 8 years ago, and I never would have dreamed of being on someone else's podcast as a guest, yet here I am at over 60 appearances. I would never have dreamed of a podcast of my own, yet here we are at 122 episodes. I never would have dreamed of being a published author, yet I'm able to hold my book, The Power of Content, in my hands. So the bonus lesson learned here is that with determination and big dreams, anything is possible. So that's the 8 lessons I've learned, and I hope that you'll walk away from this episode today being able to implement at least one of these lessons yourself. So remember, a niche is not forever. Get help before you're ready. You are worthy. It's a season. Be more you. Socials aren't always real life. You can do the thing. It's as much about the we as it is the me. And the bonus lesson is that where you are now isn't necessarily where you'll be in the future. Thank you so much for joining me today and for helping me celebrate my business birthday. The best birthday present you can give me is to pop over and rate and review the podcast so that it reaches more beautiful, big-hearted entrepreneurs like yourself, and so that we can continue to make a greater impact together. If you're out walking or doing the dishes, quickly take a screenshot and email it to yourself to remind you to do it later. And if you're driving, well, you'll just need to remember. Thank you so much for joining me for this special episode. I really appreciate you being here. Talk soon.
Thanks so much for listening. That's it for another week. To get more powerful content in your life, make sure you're following along on socials. My handle is @meldbusiness. And just in case you're wondering, the groovy music for this podcast was created by Just Here on SoundCloud. I'd also be super grateful if you took a moment to rate and review this podcast so more amazing women like you can experience the power of content. And if you're like, hell Mel, stop talking, I'm ready to work with you now, here's how we can work some powerful content magic together. Firstly, come and join the Content Effect, my membership inspiring women with service-based businesses to ditch the content chaos and start creating stand-out content that gets you noticed and makes sales. You can join us by using the link in the show notes or just Google the Content Effect. The second way we can work together is via my one-on-one packages. We can create a sustainable content strategy or start to build out your client journey. It's up to you. Pop on over to meldbusinessservices.com.au/services to find out more. Until next time, have a beautiful week and embrace the power of your content.